Hi everyone, my name is Julie. This is Keep Calm with Books and Coffee. I talk about books on this channel, and it is time to kick off the first weekly Clue reading vlog. Hello everyone, and welcome to the first week of Clue. Now, I'll be completely honest and tell you that I have lost the first clip of kickoff. Completely gone. I don't know where it is. I remember talking to you about what I was reading and how excited I was and how much fun we were having and how much I was excited for this first prompt. And I don't know where that clip is. It's gone. So we are going to just kind of introduce you to the concept of Clue, what I was reading at the beginning of the week and what the clue was. And I will have a clue from Rainey herself at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. But first, we're just kind of going to recap so that when I introduce the footage of me throughout the week, you aren't confused. I think I probably didn't hit the record button. I think that's what happened. I think I talked to the camera, but it didn't record it. So Get a Clue Readathon is hosted by Rainey over at Rainey Blue Reads, and I will have her link down below if you want to check her out and you don't know her. She's absolutely fabulous and you should. But this readathon is based around the board game Clue and how that works, and we're all on separate teams playing as the characters from the game, like Professor Plum, Mrs. White, Miss Peacock. All those good characters are our teams on the readathon. And I am a lead investigator on this round, and that means I keep switching teams and who I am reading for each round. Our first prompt was to read a book with a cozy adjective in the title. So I chose You Should Be So Lucky by Cat Sebastian. I chose lucky because luck feels really cozy to me and kind of just comforting. Like when something lucky happens to you, it feels comforting and cozy. So I just thought that was fun, and I was excited to read this. This is a queer historical sports romance about Eddie and Mark. Eddie is a baseball player he is in a bit of a slump. Actually, he's in a bit of a historic slump, and Mark is sent to cover this slump. Eddie is a lonely character because he is this really talented baseball player, but he got traded after his rookie year. And when he got traded, there were reporters around and told him that he got traded, and his reaction was not good. Like, he said some things he shouldn't have, and the reporters reported all of that. So his new team doesn't like him, his new fans don't like him. He's just kind of in this spot where he is like really regretful that he said any of that, but he's also like paying the consequences because everyone is just sort of like thinks he's a jerk. So meanwhile, he's a golden retriever, like absolute golden retriever of a guy, and I adored him. However, we also have Mark, who is also a lonely guy. He has lost his partner of 7 years who passed away, and about a year ago that happened, and ever since he has kind of just been getting by in life and kind of just trying to work through his grief. His boss sends him to cover Eddie's slump and kind of make a diary of how Eddie is coping with this throughout the season. So Mark and Eddie have to spend quite a bit of time together throughout the season, kind of talking about this story and trying to get the public on Eddie's side again. But there is chemistry between them, and I read this book in 24 hours. So I'm going to tell you what I thought of it at the end, but I remember telling you at the midway point that I thought this book was fantastic. I really liked both of our characters. It's a dual point of view. Yeah, that's where I'm going to let you pick up with past me, and I will talk to you again probably today since I still need to finish up this vlog for tomorrow. Friends, please tell me how I am a lead detective and I have lost my book. Literally, I've lost it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to find it. I want to read it again. I put it down to do some cleaning this morning and filming, and I do not know where I put it. So we'll find some clues and we'll hunt down my book, but I have sort of lost my book this morning. I have finished You Should Be So Lucky in under 24 hours. I just devoured this book. I don't know if I needed it. I don't know if I needed a physical read. I don't know exactly what I needed, but this book was it. It just it was great. I had a great time with it, and I don't think it's necessarily that a timing thing that I loved it so much. It covers a lot of my interests. It was a historical romance, it was a baseball romance, it was a queer romance, it was just fabulous. I loved it all the way around, and I had a grand time. This also does touch on, well, not touch on, it delves into grief a lot. I mentioned that Mark has lost his partner. His partner died, and that's like in the past. Like Mark is about a year or so away from that, and he does like work his way through that for a lot of this book. Like there is a lot of things that he is still dealing with grief and loss in this book, and of course this is set in the 1960s, so we're also dealing with homophobia, and but neither one of Mark or Eddie can be, out publicly. It would endanger both of them for various reasons, and they deal with that a lot throughout the book. So there is heavy stuff in here. However, I loved Mark and Eddie, and apparently I should just find relationships with Eddie's in them, because this is my third ship that I adore that has an Eddie in it. But anyway, Mark is a journalist. I think I mentioned that. This isn't quite what I would say grumpy sunshine. Like, it's not quite that. I think Kat Sebastian put a Instagram graphic up that I'll put here that like goes over some of the like buzzwords in it, and I think one of hers was golden retriever and barn cat, and that's exactly what it is. Like, Eddie is a golden retriever of a character. He can't help but smile. He can't help but laugh. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's such a sweet, lovable guy. And then Mark is much more reserved, much more private, much more jaded and cynical. And the two of them, I mean, they get along just fine. But this was just, like I said, a really tender romance, a really sweet romance. It really takes us a while for them to, get past Eddie is really not keen on reporters, of course, as a baseball player and as someone who has been burned by reporters before. And like I said, Mark is grieving. So like they have to work out some things before they, dive into this romance. This is a pretty slow burn story, and I just ate up every single second of it. Like, I loved this, and it's a 5-star from me. Like, this was so fun. It has been a while since I've had a 5-star romance that I am just delighted that I read this right now. So I am going to I need to spin the spinner wheel for another prompt. I film on my phone, so we'll see if I can get another device to do that spin. But yeah, I'm just so pleased with this. So pleased. Oh man. I loved this. Also, if you're a baseball fan, the baseball in here was also spot on. Like, of course, it's 1960s, so things are a little bit different, and there is some fictionalized parts, but the baseball was just the right amount, right amount of sprinkle in here to be important. Like, Mark is writing a article about Eddie being in this big slump and being, kind of terrible at baseball at the moment. And he, we go through a lot of baseball things. So I loved how much baseball there was in here. It was just the right amount. And yeah, so that on top of everything else, this was just, man, when baseball and romance writers get it right, they just get it right, because this is just like unwritten rules that I just was smiling the whole time. Not the whole time. I cried a few times. There's just so many little quotes in here that were about, baseball, life, romance, whatever, that all hit really, really hard, and Kat Sebastian just did a great job with this one. So I loved it. I will be right back. I'm going to go find a spinner wheel, a device we can do a spinner wheel on, and I will show you what I have to read next. All right, I found it. So let's see what we're going to read next. Book with secrets or investigations. for 5 points. This was such an obvious choice. I should have thought of it immediately. I'm going to choose Ace of Spades for this spin because we're going to be reading this as a buddy read starting tomorrow. However, that isn't going to work for me today. So I have something assigned to this spin and I am going to read it. I might even start it a little bit today since I'm going to be a little bit busy tomorrow. But I also want something that I can kind of read for my own pace. So I'm actually going to spin a second time to have 2 books on the go, because like I said, I will assign one to Ace of Spades to this spin and I will start that book, but since I'm not able to read that just at my own pace, and since I finished You Should Be So Lucky in 24 hours, I want something that I can read a little faster. This might backfire because I might have too many books going when the next prompt drops, but we'll see. Let's see what we get. Book with 1-word title. Okay, so I have one of these, but I can't read it yet because it's another buddy read. So I'm gonna have to come up with something else. This one may take me some time. I will come back to you. Hello everyone, it's Monday night. We have gotten our second prompt for Clue, and it is to read something with a reflection or a glass, a reflective surface in the title or in the cover. So I had 2 options and I have allowed my sprints tonight to choose for me. So my first was Horror Store because it has a bunch of reflective things and like there's a glass over there, there's some picture frames, there's just some things that would reflect or be glass. And then I also had Don't Want You Like a Best Friend by Emma R. Albin, and this is what won the poll. So this has like windows in the background, so glass. And therefore we're going to be reading another historical queer romance, and I am absolutely thrilled, completely happy. Right now I'm listening to Ace of Spades, and this is a YA dark academia. It's actually reminding me a lot of both the Raven Boys and what was the other one? Oh, Gossip Girl. So it's kind of like a cross for those, which is really interesting. But I have been intimidated by this book for quite a while because I've heard such good things about it, and I am buddy reading this with a bunch of people. So I'm really, really happy because I'm enjoying it. I'm also working on some crochet projects, but I just kind of wanted to give you a Monday night update. I'm 4 chapters into Ace of Spades, and I'm hoping to start this in the next sprint. And yeah, it's kind of my update. We are running sprints right now and having a good time, and I really need to get started on this because the prompt dropped yesterday and I didn't have a chance to start it. Well, I didn't know what I was going to pick. I was sort of on the fence, and I also didn't have time to read, so I'm feeling a little bit like a day behind, but I am hoping we'll have a few days to get this prompt done since it's like weekdays and everything. So yeah, that's my update for now, and I will check in with you guys again when I have thoughts on either one of these books. Hello everyone. I have a box that I'm really excited about. This box is an Illumicrate box, and it is the Illumicrate editions of Iron Widow and Heavenly Tyrant. I'm so excited for these. I ordered these late last year and I have been just waiting for them to arrive. And I haven't bought a second edition of Heavenly Tyrant yet, so I am just... This is... Oh my gosh. Gorgeous. Wow. That's cool. I'm just gonna keep gasping because it just keeps getting prettier. Okay, I have so many things to show you first. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Then oh my gosh. This is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If you haven't read Iron Widow, I'm telling you right now to read it. And I can't wait to read Heavenly Tyrant. Oh. Oh my gosh. These sprayed edges. Oh. Okay, I should just not look because I don't want spoilers, but I don't think I'm going to know what any of it means. Oh wow. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, that's cool. Wow, wow, wow. Also, wow. Sometimes special editions just blow it out of the water. And these are, I mean, really stunning. Oh gosh. All right, well, that's my update. I'm hoping to actually read some books tonight. I started Ace of Spades last night, I think I told you. And I feel like tonight is a night where I have to read like a chapter of each book that I'm reading so that I can like make some progress, because I want to read some, I want to get somewhere in my books, because I'm currently not getting anywhere. So I'll update you as that happens. Hello everyone and welcome to Thursday. So Thursday is already a little bit of a mess. So it has been a couple of days since I talked to you. So I was reading so many different things for this prompt with the glass on the cover, and I finally settled on last night because I was like, we are getting to the point where Rainy is going to drop a prompt at some point, and I do not want to have not contributed to the white and purple teams this round. And I wanted to move on to the conservatory, so I really wanted to get something done. So I picked up Unwritten Rules by Katie Casey. Now, if that title sounds familiar to you because it was in my top 10 books of the year, this is a reimagining of, it's like two little novellas that are a reimagining of the characters from Katie Casey's baseball romance series meeting in like an alternate universe. She did this for a charity event. I think it was fundraising of some kind, and I got this, and then I read both novellas. It's like all compacted together. It's about 200 pages, so it was a little bit short, but I truly could not settle on anything. Like, I was reading Don't Want You Like a Best Friend, I was reading Horror Store, I was reading lots of things, and I have started lots of things, and I just couldn't settle on a book. So I decided to pick this up, thinking I will just read this like in an evening and just kind of be done for the conservatory, and then hopefully these other books that I have started will count towards something in the future. And I used this because I don't know if you can tell, because it's a little hard to see at first, but there is like a crystal ball in the background of this. So that is glass, that is opaque, you know, you can see your reflection in it. So I counted this, and I thought it was a fun read. It's two stories. I have read the first novella is based on the first book in her baseball series, and I have read that one, but I haven't read any further, so I don't know the dynamic of the two characters in the second novella as well as I did in the first, but I actually ended up liking that one a little more, which was interesting to me. Maybe because I didn't know what to expect, I don't know, but I did like this. They're both just like ghost hunters hunting ghosts, and they like meet someone that they're interested in through the ghost hunting, and they want to protect them, and it was all very sweet and fun. So overall I would give this a 4-star. It's just a queer ghost hunting reimagining of a baseball romance, so like just all things that I thought were fun. And yeah, I just enjoyed seeing these characters in another setting and then meeting the other two characters. Now I want to go continue the baseball series. So overall it was good. Like I said, I am reading Don't Want You Like a Best Friend. I have started Horror Store. I read some of Call Down the Hawk. What else did I read? I started reading The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. So I've read a lot of things in the past like 2 or 3 days, and like started a bunch of things. simply because I can't settle on a book. So then yesterday I was just feeling a little under the weather at the end of the day, and just kind of, I don't know, I don't think I'm sick. It has been super dry here, and we also are getting an ice storm today. Like, I'm home from work for half the day because they're anticipating this clearing up at like lunchtime, but like there's literally like a glaze on everything right now, so I'm a little nervous about going to work later. But I'm also glad that we got a half day because I just like slept. I went to bed a little early last night, and I woke up a little later than normal, finished my book, and now I've just kind of been resting and like slowly getting ready to go to work later, but like just kind of taking it easy. I think it was just this weather change, because we had like mild weather, like 50s, high 40s, and then it dropped down to freezing again, and everything is so dry. Like, my skin is so dry, my like nasal is so dry. This might be too much information, but I've just been trying to drink water and everything and try and stay hydrated, and I think it all caught up with me because I forgot my water bottle the other day at work, and it really dried me out, and now I've been playing catch up. Anyway, so that's my little ramble about me finishing this room's book. I'm really happy that I got one down. I haven't been able to do a bonus book yet. I just haven't had, like I said, I haven't been able to settle on a book and get like into anything this past week. So, but this weekend's going to be a bit busy because the Super Bowl is this weekend. The Super Bowl is Sunday, and then on Monday we are going to Philly for the concert. So it's going to be interesting no matter what happens in the game. Go Birds. Anyway, that's my update. I am gonna go plan. I think what I'm gonna do this morning while I have this time is plan some videos for filming on Saturday, because I would like to, and I think it's gonna snow here on Saturday, so I just want to kind of plan to be at home and get some filming done, because I'd like to work on being like a week ahead on my videos, but we'll see if that happens. I usually end up filming them and then editing them the night before. Like, I'll film them far in advance, but then end up editing them like a week, the day of. So we're gonna try to adjust that. But that's my update for now. I will see you all next time I finish a book. Now I'm reading Ace of Spades, and I don't think I even really talked about what this book is about. In this, we're following two students at an elite private school named Chiamaka and Devon. They are the only two Black students at this school, and they aren't really friends. They're on different ends of the social spectrum. They have different things going on in their lives, and the two of them don't interact at all. But they, I believe, are going to meet based on the fact that they both start having their secrets exposed by an anonymous texter who keeps texting their secrets to the entire school. And this is making their lives very difficult. So far, at like the mid 40% mark, I think I'm in the middle of I think I just started chapter 17. This is really interesting. I'm very intrigued about the way that the author is laying out this story, because I feel like we're getting a lot of groundwork. This feels a little bit like Gossip Girl. It reminds me, personally, I don't know a lot of like suspense or horror movies, but I have seen Scream. And this is giving me a little bit of a Scream vibe in the fact that it's very suspenseful, and we have these like moments where we're in high school and everyone's kind of just looking at each other sideways. So it's giving me that vibe. So there's just like a lot of like little things in here that are reminding me of other things, and that is really interesting to read. It's also very interesting to watch this play out as sort of trying to figure out what the motivation is here of the person texting out these secrets, because like I said, these secrets are being exposed of the only two Black people in this school, when like we're witnessing them and their friendships and seeing that a lot of people have secrets, a lot of people have things going on. So why is it only those two? And so I'm very interested. There's a lot of little pieces of discussion in here about racism and microaggressions and things like that I'm picking up on throughout the book. And overall, I really like the writing style. It is YA, but it's not, I don't think it's overly explainy or anything like that. It feels, like I said, like Gossip Girl, that it's kind of mature in its content, so that is keeping the story moving and it's keeping things interesting, but it's not so far like in a way that I would consider like inappropriate. So like I feel like this is like pretty suited to YA so far, like upper level YA, of course, like high school, that older end of YA. Can't wait to keep reading it, but I have read about, I started at 14% and I'm somewhere in the 40s, so I've read like 30% tonight, and I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break from that and move on to another book for the rest of the evening. I'm not sure if I'm going to read a book or if I'm going to watch YouTube. I'm working on a bullet journal and a list of things to do tomorrow, so I will kind of figure it out from there, but I don't want to talk to you too long because I don't want to aggravate my voice, so I will talk to you tomorrow when I'm a little less tired. But I wanted to give you an update since I read such a big chunk of this tonight, and I'm having a really good time and really enjoying how this story is playing out. Good morning, everyone. There is an ice storm coming tonight and a Super Bowl coming tomorrow, so we are going to the grocery store early this morning. I have a 4-quadrant to-do list, and I'm hoping to show you what I'm doing this weekend, but we gotta get rolling because it's already 7:30 and I've been awake. Girl, I can't sleep in on the weekend. I've been working full-time too long for that. I don't know. But anyway, that's my update. We are headed out to the grocery store. I am looking for party supplies and fun food and also weekly food. So I will update you on the status of if I find a cookie cake. Hello everyone. So we're gonna try to do this quickly and not cough because I've just had like a dry cough going on all day, and I've been trying to talk as little as possible but also get my filming done. So I finished Ace of Spades. I was gonna update you all day, like guess who didn't update you all day, but that's simply because I was reading Ace of Spades all day. I couldn't stop reading it, and this completely engrossed me, especially once we got to the like 75% mark or like the 2/3 mark. There was a part 3. Once we got to part 3, I couldn't stop reading this book. We simply took off with the pace, and I was completely just absorbed in this book. It was fantastic, really intriguing, really fascinating, completely attention grabbing. I don't have a lot of critiques. The only thing, I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and that's only because I feel like we did take off at that pace, but then at the very end I needed a few more answers. Like, we really wrapped things up very, very quickly, ended things, and I just wanted a little bit more explanation, a little bit more resolution with a few of our characters and what happened, so a little more explanation. So I think that is just maybe the sign that this is a debut novel, and by far it did not detract that much from my enjoyment of the book. It's just something I kind of got to the end and had questions about. But overall, this was fantastic. Like I said in my other clips, like, we deal with a lot of tough issues here. We tackle things like racism, microaggressions, institutional racism. You know, we talk about these things, that how the systems have really negatively impacted a lot of minority groups and, you know, paved the way for cis white people. And that just kind of is a reoccurring theme throughout the book, and something that the author, you know, keeps discussing. And I just thought it was really well done. I will be definitely reading more by them over the course of time. I know that they have one other book out, but I would like to see what else they come out with. But overall, this was just really, really excellent. And throughout the day, I cleaned my house. I did find a cookie cake, if you were worried, and, you know, just generally kind of worked on house things. So I wish I had updated you, but I was just really concentrated on this book. And so I'm going to use Ace of Spades for the kitchen prompt. I know earlier in the vlog I said that I was going to use this for a book that features investigations, but I'm going to find something else for that. I might use Little Thieves for that, since I'm going to be starting that tonight. And then I think I will use horror store for the book that is a single word title, and those will be kind of my picks for now. That could change. I'm only an hour into horror store and I haven't started Little Thieves yet, just depending on when the next prompt drops, but I didn't want to kind of do the housekeeping of that I didn't forget about these throughout the vlog. So I'm currently caught up. Everything is submitted for my kitchen prompt, and now I'm going to start working on some bonus reads. And I just kind of wanted to close out the vlog tonight before I did that, so that we kind of have a clean slate going into Sunday and new reads. But I'm already starting to get a little croaky. But before I go, I do want to give you the clue that I promised you at the beginning from Rainy, which is that the team in second place for the overall readathon is Miss Peacock. So do with that what you will. But that is it for me today. If you have any thoughts or feelings or want to share anything about the vlog today, please let me know down below. If you aren't feeling chatty, go ahead and leave me a peacock emoji for the little clue. But that is it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!